with my debt.
All right, we're here at Occupy Minnesota with
Kaylin Crawford.
And I just got your sign here, heard you speak a little bit earlier. Now, I guess what drove you to show up today? Is it the first time you're out here? And kind of tell us, what you're doing with your time, your props, and your message here.
All right, so I've been active with Occupy Homes Minnesota for a couple of weeks now, actually, and I'm facing foreclosure in my home. I was in an accident, or a snowboarding accident, and couldn't work or go to school for about 3 months. And in that time, I contacted the bank for help and wasn't behind on my mortgage, and they said in order to help me I had to be in default, and so I should stop paying my mortgage and then they would help me. And 3 months later they foreclosed on my house. And since then, that was about a year and a half ago, and ever since then they've been pushing for eviction. The redemption period has passed, and we had tried negotiating with them, and they didn't want to have anything to do with negotiations. And I got an eviction notice for August, and August 2nd I filed a lawsuit against U.S. Bank and Freddie Mac, and that's actually in federal court right now to come up with a responsible solution to keep me in my home, because I can pay. They're just not negotiating with me so I can stay.
Oh, I personally had an FHA loan for like 2 years now, and you said they told this, because it's scary to a guy like me. I'm 27 years old. I don't know a lot about this stuff, but I'm very interested in especially our generation, and what some of the challenges we may face that others won't. So I kind of want to try to be smart about what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You said 3 months it took, and what I'm confused about, they told you, okay, go into default, but then you lost your house in 3 months. So go ahead on that if you want to elaborate some more, because that's the most interesting thing you said so far to me.
So after 2 years of working with this, I realized that the biggest pitfall for dealing with banks is trying to make sense of what they do. They don't have an organized method of anything. So when I stopped paying my mortgage, the only thing I can think is that they put me into default as soon as I called them, because essentially they told me to stop paying my mortgage, but then they knew I would, because why wouldn't I listen to the bank?
So you feel they knew what the hell they were doing, and you got totally duped, and how are you going to fight against the institution at large? Is that kind of what you're saying? Yep.
What we're doing right now is putting public pressure on the banks to negotiate with homeowners and keep people in their homes. It's this bureaucratic bullheadedness that is destroying our communities. My block has 4 vacant houses on it, and I don't think they need another one. So,
what kind of solutions, macro solutions, big solutions do you see to help, I guess, get the people under the thumb of the banks?
Well, principal reductions for homeowners that are underwater. Make it affordable for people to stay in their homes. It's really disheartening for somebody to have to pay on a $360,000 loan when their house is worth $60,000. Make the price of the house the current market value, and that makes it affordable for the homeowner.
How do you make someone do something?
We're the 99%. They're a small portion of us, and if enough of us rally together, they have to fold.
Do you think that the banker bailouts kept some of these institutions and allowed them to grow even larger? Or do you think that when a lot of these bailouts, which I'm predicting, you can take my word for it, there's going to be a lot more type of bailouts, whether they call it quantitative easing and they essentially create more money out of thin air, or they literally, like TARP funds, just give it to huge institutions that say we need money. Do you think that in retrospect that type of action was a good idea? A good idea. The reason I ask this is because I just think there's more of this down the road, and we're going to see more of it, and going to have to, you and me, form our opinions once again. And to me, it's like starting to get tricked too many times. I'm questioning the whole system. So what do you think about the government, who really is supposed to be our force, the 99%, whoever, we want to enact legislation to do something, whatever. Do you think that these banks essentially are too big now?
I don't think they're too big. They're not. You can't be too big to fail. Everybody thought that slavery wasn't ever going to be abolished, and we managed that. So I don't think there's any way that you can be too big to fail. Timothy Geithner, back 2 years after the first bailout, 2 years after the first bailout, student debt actually surpassed credit card debt as the second most common household debt in the country. And that's the first time that's ever happened, and that's only second to mortgage debt. So in 2008 to, what's the word I'm looking for? In 2008, in defense of him giving bailout funds to the banks, he said the demise of Bear Stearns, which was the first bank, the first financial institution to get a bailout, the demise of them would result in higher borrowing costs for housing and education. I'm not really sure how it could be a whole lot higher.
All right, we'll let you get back to Occupy. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.